Alright, so let's move our flight schedule to the right hand side in our display and try to examine some of these implementations of menu choices that we have in the system. So the first choice is to set the clock. So inside the menu we have set clock, and the user can make this choice, and basically the choice number 1 is returned back to the main method. We immediately start to switch on this value, and here menu set clock implemented as schedule, which is type of this object right here, set date and time. So let's scroll down to locate set date and time. So there's lots of already implemented features right here, and here's this set date and time. Now what happens here, we print set clock information to the user, and we display what the current day is, okay, and what the current time is. So we reopen our output here and we try to set the clock. So here it goes and says current day is Monday and the time is 0. So just the time gets initialized to 0, which is the midnight. And now we have a choice to right here get string from the user, and we are asking for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and so forth, and we just ask for a specific code. So for instance, we can enter Monday or Tuesday. Let's keep it Monday, and enter time in military notation. So if I enter 500, this will correspond to 5 a.m., 5 o'clock in the morning. If I enter 1500, this will correspond to 3 p.m. In the afternoon. Okay, so that's the way it works. So day set to Monday and time is this. So this is what gets prompted. So obviously we just update the current day in the system, and we update the current time in this method, and this information is stored directly in the flight schedule object, right? So this flight schedule object that we create, and the flight schedule class has these two data attributes: integer time and character day. So that's the implementation of set date and time right here in our system. Set date and time. We also have simple getters and setters, get current time and get current day, to retrieve these two data attributes from our schedule. So the next option here is clear schedule. So clear schedule is basically we give choice to the user to clear the schedule. By the way, we're still running this application, so it says enter to continue, and when I hit enter we go back to the menu. So the menu is not immediately displayed after each use case. There is a pause and then we come back to the menu. So this creates more reasonable workflow for the user. So choice number 2 is clear schedule. And the clear schedule is going to be implemented by the method clear schedule, also inside our class. And there is another method that is called reset schedule. So reset schedule is basically what it does. It resets the list of airlines to new array list of airlines, and it resets the flight map, right? So it's both of these collections are reset. The old collections are basically thrown out, and the new collections are generated, So collection of flights and collection of airlines as a result of reset schedule is thrown away, and current time and day is also reset to midnight on Monday. So the next already implemented example is to add an airline. So internally here we have collection of airlines, and of course we also have the airline class. So the airline class is pretty simple. So class airline has only airline code currently stored in this demo system, but we can add later on, we can add the name of the airline and the aircraft information. So here the airline only stores the code, which is a string. It has the default constructor, and it has constructor that takes the airline code. So that should be pretty simple type of object, and we simply maintain a list, an array list of these airline objects. And when we say add airline, okay, so when we call add airline, try to locate this implementation of this method, add airline right here. Right, so add airline is a method which is implemented by our schedule, and it prints the heading, add new airline, enter airline code. The airline code is a string, and we just get our string from the validator class, which is very convenient to have in the system. We also automatically convert it to uppercase. So this is an example of taking a string and converting it to uppercase. Then we have a method that checks whether this airline code is valid. So we can probably have a number of business rules to require airline code to be within specific range, for instance 2 characters or whatever, and this method implements this check. So we say that if it's a valid code, then we say that airline with this code is already on file. So this method returns true if the when we loop through the airlines, if the current code that we're trying to validate equals another airline code, then we return true, otherwise we return false. So this is a little bit backwards, I think, but anyway, it just says if it's a valid airline code, the airline with this code is already on file. So basically this method checks whether the code is already somewhere in the collection of our airlines. And if airlines with this code is already present, we basically tell the user that we cannot do this, and we pause. So because our application is already pre-populated with some choices, which I will show you later on, when we add an airline, so for instance an airline with the code DL is already on file. Okay, so that's what we get. So this is not going to let us, this check right here is not let us to enter airline objects with the duplicate airline code. So I hit enter to continue, and we just go back to the menu. So I will try this again, number 3, add airline, and this time we can try something like Iceland Air, IA. Okay. So the answer is here that the airline is successfully added, because the current version of this demo application is only asking to give us the airline code. When you work on finishing this project, you should also ask for the name of the airline. You should also ask for the aircraft type, which is just a string, and also ask the user for the capacity of the sitting in the cabin of that specific aircraft type. So that's just something that's left to finish. But overall, the structure of this is pretty simple. Basically, we take what we do here when we're adding the airline. If the validation is okay, we just simply add airline to the collection of airlines.